Hello, welcome to Structura. My name is Robert Hennon. I am the plant manager here at Structura. We are located in beautiful Lenexa, Kansas, and this is our brand new building. We just moved in here back in April. Come on with me, let's take a tour. We just moved about 15-20 minutes north. We were down in Olathe. So Kansas City is actually known as being the city of fountains. And it just so happens that we inherited one when we moved in here, albeit a little bit frozen. Kansas City is also known for its barbecue, and there's also a little team called the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe you've heard of them. So Structura is really all about its people, so let's go inside and meet them. So as you can see here, we've got a few of our smaller landscape products on display. Come on in. So first up, we have Jacqueline. Get a little away from Jacqueline.
Hello.
So Jacqueline is in customer service as well as quotation. Next up, we've got Mackenzie.
Hi there.
So Mackenzie does quotations, customer service, marketing, party planner.
Yeah.
She pretty much does it all. So.
A lot on the list.
A lot of hats. And then we'll start down the engineering department. First up, we've got Rylan, who is a mechanical engineer.
Yeah, so I do a lot with catenary systems. If you've got a catenary system specified anywhere, I've had a hand in it. Also working new product development. Something we're working on right now for a linear fixture that mounts directly to a catenary cable. Yeah, other than that, standard products that get released to the shop. I do the engineering on those. Yeah, lots of hats.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frank. And next up, we have Brandon, who's an industrial designer. So he does a lot of the custom projects, and he has a big input into the new products as well.
Yeah, focus on new products, custom, and help with marketing. So right now, we're working on a new cylinder fixture to have a wood body and an aluminum version.
So this is a software that we use in engineering. It's called Inventor.
It works well for all of our stuff.
So we use it for design. We use it for all of our shop drawings that go out to the shop. And then we also use it to actually program the different machines out in the shop. We have 3 different CNC machines out there, but yet I can operate all of them using that same program. Next up, we got Tom. Tom's a electrical engineer, so he's more into the fixture side, into the LEDs and whatnot. And then in here we have the accounting department. We have Anne. Anne's in charge of the accounting. She does purchasing. She does HR. She does it all. We also have Robin over here. Hi, Robin. She does a lot of assisting with all those functions as well. So thank you, Robin. And then this is everyone's favorite room, cafeteria. You know, the whole eating food thing, but mostly because we didn't have one at the other place. So everyone is excited to have a spot that we can sit down and eat. We also do training and any kind of seminars or anything in here. And we got the big boss in there. We've got Jason here. He's an industrial engineer, so he's in charge of the processes out in the shop. We're always trying to continuously improve our product and processes. And down here on the end in our bright orange room, I don't know, that's just Structura's accent colors, always been orange. We have Adam. So Adam is in charge of our care and maintenance program, which if you don't know what that is, you'll have to get with Shannon and Alexi. And last but not least, we have Shannon here in the conference room, conferencing.
Hi, guys.
Doing that remote thing probably. So.
This is my office.
Thanks, Shannon. All right, so that's the office. So let's move out to the shop. This new building is 65,000 square feet. The office is twice as big as the old place, and the shop floor is 3 times as big. So let's go up here and we can kind of get a little bird's eye view of the metal shop anyway. So what you see here is really just the metalworking side. Also, we have powder coat, we have assembly and staging to ship out. We do have additional space on the other side of the white wall back there. So all of the wood shop is over on the other side. There's a couple of new things we did when we moved to this building. One of them was to put in the powder coat. So you see Kyle over there in the sandblast area. So those 3 units make up powder coat. So the materials are stored in-house over there, so they're out of the elements. So we have all of our standard extrusions as well as our custom aluminum extrusions. And then as we need them, they're cut to length here at the cut center. And then they pass through this VMC, which stands for Vertical Mill Center. This particular unit is a Haas, and it is a 3-axis machine, and it also has a rotary that we can put on it that would allow us to cut tube. So we've got Craig here. He's cutting these lineals from an extrusion that Brandon drew up, and then this would be the finished part. And then we weld caps on the ends, and then we do all the LED assembly as well as painting it in-house. So we're able to make this entire fixture in-house. And here's an example. Here's some Metros. They come in as a rough casting, and then we put them on here. We machine it, drill and tap all the holes. So there's a couple, 3 Metros that are ready to go over and be painted. So this machine, we've had it for a couple of years, and it's been a great asset because it allows us not only to produce all the production parts, but we're also able to make fixtures that we use on the other machines, such as this, that we mill that out of a block of aluminum. And then it's used over on the other CNCs. It has suction that holds down the boards, and then we can mill around them. And then we also use this machine to make prototypes and R&D projects. So this is an example of what Rylan had on his desk. So I was able to take and machine this with an 1/8-inch bit. I was able to get down 1 inch and be able to cut all this out. It took several passes, obviously. And then what I did, I was able to flip it and locate it using this hole, and then I was able to mill the other half. So I was able to make 2-inch segments, and I made him 6 of those so he could make that fixture to be 12 inches long. So let's continue on. The next department is welding. We're currently set up with 2 workstations for welding. We have 2 processes we use. We can TIG weld, and we can also MIG weld. So what he's doing right now is MIG welding, where he uses a spool gun and you pull the trigger. The other welding that we do is TIG welding. It's a little more challenging to do because you have a foot feet, kind of like an accelerator pedal that sets your temperature basically, and then in your right hand you'll have a torch, and then in the other hand you have a filler rod. So it's a bit of a dance. So it's more difficult to do, it's more time consuming, but it's more precise, it looks better, and stronger weld. So the next department is powder coat. And powder coat consists of 3 different units. So the first unit is sandblast, where you can actually see some of the media on the ground still. This one has not been blasted, and then if you look at these, they have been blasted. So it gives them a bit of almost a texture look, but it completely gets that ready to powder coat. So that's the first step. The second step doesn't seem intuitive to some people, but we'll actually put it in this oven and take it up to temperature so that we can degrease and clean any oils or anything that might be on there. So we use that as a pre-treatment almost, and then it'll be used for the final cure of the product. So in here is the booth where we actually spray on the powder. So the powder is applied with a static charge, and he has to be careful to get a real uniform, even coat. And then after that, it'll go back to that oven, the big oven that we showed you, and it'll be cooked for, say, 20 or 30 minutes at about 350, 400 degrees. So the powder that we use is AAMA 2604. So now we are able to powder coat our own poles up to 30 feet. So this is pretty much where the metal working stops, and then we're going to go over to where the wood is. So you can see along this wall is where we keep the Akoya inside so we can keep it dry and somewhat acclimated to the temperature. The wood that we use is called Akoya, and we only can get that in one dimension, and that's 2 inches by 6 inches. So if you look at these boards, they come in rough, and then we have to plane them down to the exact size that we need. But essentially, they're going to end up to be 2 inches by 6 inches, and then we get those in lengths of 12, 14, and 16. We do have the ability to finger joint to extend that up to approximately 24 feet. And one thing you would notice if you're actually here, as we walk into the shop, you would smell a hint of vinegar, and that's because the Akoya is essentially pressure treated with vinegar, and that's why it smells like it. So off in the corner here is where we fabricate all of our crates for shipping. And then if we step outside, this is our dust collector. So in the top of this unit, there are 4 25 horsepower fans that draws the air out here through the round tube, and then it goes through the green canister where it drops out the sawdust, and then it returns the air into the building so we're not losing all of our heat. And this is the controller just for that machine because it has a number of built-in safety features, including spark detection and explosion proof. So you can see these 3 main lines, these trunk lines, and each one of them goes to the equipment, and then you'll see the gate that will automatically open as you turn on those pieces of equipment. It's all automated. It's a very nice system that we did not have at the other place. So then some of the specific woodworking equipment, everything that comes over, like I said, it has to be planed down. So this is actually a dual planer. So what it does is it will take off up to 1/4 inch off the bottom and 1/4 inch off the top at the same time. So once we've got the thickness we need, we can run it across this machine, which is called an inline rip saw, which is just a glorified table saw. So we can get it to the width. So like for our poles, we cut it into thirds to be efficient. And then we also have a resaw here if we wanted to cut the board in the other direction, if you wanted to make a 1-inch board. So these are the glue-up tables that we use for the bollards and the poles. Right now, this is a pole that we've got on here. So it's roughly 6 inches by 6 inches, and it's using 2 2/3 boards. So they will put that on the CNC and turn it round, and it will be a 5.5-inch round pole. We also do a 7-inch round, and we do a 5 and a 7-inch square. And then one of our more popular products as of late are these Aura rings. And I guess I'll tell you the secret of how we bend these to make these rings. The secret is we don't. This is an example of some of the other small landscape lighting that we do, where essentially it's cut in 2 halves, and then we dowel it to put it together. These aren't the same piece, obviously, but you get the idea. So that's how we can make component parts. And then this is a portion of a Mac bollard. That's another secret, is how do you drill a hole that's 4 feet long or 12 feet long or 20 feet long? Well, the secret is you don't. You drill half of a hole, and then when you put them together, you've got your void. So this next machine is made by a company called Como, and it is a 3-axis router. The working bed is 5 foot wide and 12 feet long, but we're able to squeeze it out a little bit farther, and we're actually cutting a 6-foot ring on that 5-foot table. We just built little extensions onto the fixture to allow us to do that. And again, this machine is programmed with that Inventor software, as is this next machine. The next CNC router that we have is a little more sophisticated because it is a 5+1 axis, so it has a true 5-axis head, and then we added the rotary, so that gives you the 6-axis So obviously we use the rotary to make the poles, and then we use the 5-axis to make more complex parts. So besides this, going down in the X and over in Y, and then it can travel up and down in Z, this can also turn up in what they call the A-axis, and it can also rotate in the C-axis. So that would allow me to work on top of a part, on the side, the end, the other side. It'll also do all that at once. So you can make a complex shape like a Pringles potato chip. So this is an example of how the pole fits on the machine, and then we can leave it like that and do one surface. You rotate it 90, you can do another surface, and that's how you make a square pole. If you wanted to make a round pole, we can actually spin it, and it'll keep spinning, and then we cut down the length of it to make it round. So behind this is a square pole. This is actually the one they call sign, because it has this slash cut, and then the rest of this goes down into the base, and then it's bolted on. They've also got some round poles going. So here's an example of a 5-inch round bowl pole before sanding. So this just came off CNC. And this is an example of the glue blanks that are going onto the CNC. So that one's in process right now. And then this is a sanding machine that we purchased out of Italy. And what it does is it passes that pole through there, and it sands. There's 2 sanding heads in this side, and there's 2 more sanding heads over here. So it passes through there slowly, and it will come out completely sanded and ready for finish. It used to take us more than an hour to sand a pole like that, and it will do it in less than a minute. These 3 large machines are vacuums, and they are hooked to the 2 CNC machines in the table, and that's what allows for the suction to pull down on that part and hold it in place so that we can machine around it. Martin? And then this is final sanding over here for some of the other products. Everything gets a final hand sanding. Everything that goes out of here looks like furniture. So here are quite a few Mac 232 that are in the sanding process. And that's the end of the sawdust. So this is where all the wood products will get stained and cleared. So we've got a bunch of the 7-inch round poles in the background. And then up front, these are actually some Aura custom square. They're actually made to represent a baseball diamond, because they're going into a park, and that's how they're going to be hung, is in the shape of a baseball diamond. So we even have the home plate down there. So we actually mix all of our own stains here so that we can get consistency in color. So we're back to where we left off. We have our finished wooden products, we have our finished metal products, and that's where this all comes together at assembly. We've got Sarah and Pablo. They do a great job for us. Looks like they're putting together some Aura rings, so they're getting ready to glue those in. Of course, we always fire them up and test them. Pablo and Sarah also do the majority of the packaging. So here's an example of some fairly large catenary poles, steel poles that are going out. We've also got some 7-inch square poles here that are getting ready to go out. And then the dock doors kind of give it away. This is obviously the shipping and receiving area where Jimmy processes all of the various components in and out. Hey Troy, what are you up to?
Ordering.
This is Troy. He's the shop foreman, so he's always busy.
Ordering.
So I guess that's really going to sum up our tour for today. I'm going to refer it back to Shannon and Alexi. Thank you for coming along, and maybe we'll see you again real soon.